Welcome back to the vlog, guys. This week is a behind the scenes look at some portrait work that I'm going to be doing. In the FMP pitch, I spoke about how I was going to use portrait work and posting it on other people's accounts to help with my reach and reaching new audiences which I potentially don't reach already. So I've set up a projector photo shoot within the college. I'm going to be using a projector and a couple of models to project images onto a wall and have the models stand in front of. So it's a traditional portrait kind of shoot, but you've got the added sort of twist of having the people stood in front of it. It should help hopefully create some bold images, and I'm going to be doing this as part of the strategies that I had to reaching out to the larger community around me. Hopefully it all goes well. I'm going to be setting off for college in a bit. When I get there, I'm going to need to, I've got to chat to a technician. He's got to run me through some health and safety of using a projector. So I'm going to get that sorted out, and then hopefully you'll see a bit more of, you know, what one of those shoots looks like and how I conduct one of those shoots as I get to college. So I'll see you in a little bit. So something that I wanted to go over quickly was the gear that I'm actually going to be using for the shoot. Now it's going to be really dark in the room because I'm going to close all the curtains and blinds and project onto the wall, and I want the clearest image possible, so I'm going to switch the lights off and make it dark. But something that I'm going to need under those conditions is a lens which works really well in low light. So I've got the Canon 50mm f1.8. The reason why this works well in low light is because it has a 1.8 aperture, which is a really low aperture. And what that basically means is it can let much more light through than, say, the lens that I'm shooting this on at the moment. The difference between the light passing through the lens is literally night and day. So I need this purely because it's got a low aperture and I'm going to be able to shoot in the dark conditions. Something else that I'm going to need is a little mini tripod. These are so useful when it comes to vlogging while walking, moving about. You can just hold it out in front of you and it gives you more control than you'd have if you were just, say, trying to hold the camera up, because it's a bit awkward to try and balance it in your hand. Then the final thing, which I'm going to be taking with me just in case, is a flash gun. I'm not going to be using the flash gun in terms of the projector when the projector's in use, because the flash would just completely erase any evidence of the projector in the photo. But I want to give myself the opportunity that if, you know, I see some, how can I describe it? If I see an opportunity to take some photos in the dark with the flash gun, it's nice to know that it's there and I've got it. So I'm just planning around stuff. I'm also going to be taking the lens switches on the camera and the camera which is filming this, as well as the mic and the tripod. But the tripod, shout outs to Chris Edwin, because he literally gave me this tripod yesterday. My old tripod I got from a charity shop when I was like 14 years old. It was awful, and now I've got a nice new one, all thanks to Chris Edwin. So shout outs to him, link in the description. So that's the gear that I'm going to be using. Let's get to college and then we can start the next step of the video. So I'm in college. I've just got to go nip and see the technician to have a chat with him about this projector thing. Alright guys, have you got an Anthony in here?
Oh, yeah, just wandered in. Anthony! There's a student, I think.
I am, yeah. So after a quick chat with the technician, the earliest he's going to be able to get the projector is next week. So that's a bit of a spanner in the works in terms of the work that I wanted to do in here with the lighting setup and with the thing, but it just means that it's pushed back a bit. So rather than waste the time, I wanted to actively demonstrate problem solving by still coming up with a photo shoot that I can do. So one of my favourite creators, Constantine, he does a photo effect where he takes a photo with a flash gun and then has a slow shutter and moves the camera slightly.
Do you have any cool photo tricks to get cool trippy photos? Yes, I love using a flash gun and setting the shutter speed relatively low, then giving a camera a slight movement as you take the picture, gets these super cool effects you're seeing now.
So I can't do the projector thing, but I'm gonna give that a go and see if I can get any interesting results.
What are we doing today, Sam?
I'm going to be messing around with a flash gun, trying to take some photos of whoever walks through that door.
No, I have multiple.
But the camera is there.
Yep. That's easy.
Old school bowls.
I'm fucking that.
How was that, Sam?
Yeah, good mate. So that is the shoot finished up with. It was a bit of a difficult one to manage purely because of the fact that I was just sort of making up some portrait photos with a little bit of an artistic angle. I was dragging the shutter speed and using a flash gun to try and like get a bit of a ghosty effect, but something that I didn't plan for was that a lot of them were bad. I think there's only like 2 or 3 which I'm going to be able to use, but yeah. Problem solved, shoot achieved, give me the marks. That's it. I mean, there you have it. I feel like it's quite important to say, I was looking back on the footage and I was like, it kind of looks like I planned to not have the projector, and I just thought it's important to say, I genuinely didn't. Like, from the communication that I'd had with the technician, it was kind of sounding like, you know, like he was acquiring the projector and on Wednesday when I was in we were going to get it all set up, but you know, that wasn't the case, and I'm really happy I took the flash gun. I'm sure I could have done something, but I do sort of urban setting portraits a lot, but I wanted to do something in a studio, but not just put someone in front of a plain background, there you go sort of thing. I like my photos to have something a bit different. So that is the actual material created, and now it is a case of tracking the insights and the analytics that creating that piece of content makes in terms of the ripple effect outwards of people going, oh, that's kind of cool, and then checking out my page, for example. So that will be a separate video within it of itself, talking about the analytics, but this was just more a behind the scenes look at exactly how one of those things goes. In terms of like looking back on it, you know, it was really good. It was really good. I'm very grateful to Tamzin and Alice. You've probably seen them on the channel before. They're both incredibly helpful. Alice was actually stood to the side going, maybe try doing that, and then I'd do it and then it would work, and I was like, because it wasn't all me. Like, if I didn't have that group of people around me, I probably wouldn't have been able to get the results that I did, so I'm very grateful to that. And yeah, shout out to CameraShy as well. His behind the scenes footage while I was taking the photos, that was all him on the camera. And the sort of transitions between shots where it's like I go down like that was all him in camera. I didn't add any effects to the edit. It was all the way that he'd filmed the clips. So a massive shout out to him, because it made the editing so much easier. He'd like use practical effects to like, yeah, it was just really good. So the behind the scenes video works really well. The photos turned out so much better than I was expecting. There was a lot that didn't work, as in there were, for the 5 that I managed to turn into something, I think there were about 50, close to like 80 images, between 50 and 80 images, and I'll put some of those up now just so you can see the difference. I was looking for a very specific effect, and because it was the first time I'd done it, I wasn't every single time I was taking the photo getting the effect. It was more a little bit of luck that was involved in it as well. So yeah, and just very grateful to the team. Shout out to CameraShy, shout out to Chris, shout out Tamzin, Alice. You know, within it of itself, that was kind of community marketing, because it's getting other people. It's getting other people involved in the process and showing them what it's like, and then other people around me feel invested in me and my work by inviting them to collaborate with me. So in a way it all sort of ripples out. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next week.
Do that nigga cut. Oh! Shit! Ah!